Good morning, everybody. Welcome back, everyone. It feels like ages since my last Facebook Live, and it kind of feels like the first time all over again. Just give me a minute, and I'm going to get the video feed up on my computer so I can see your comments and say hi to you too if you're joining me live. So I'm running a little bit later than I usually like to start. I usually like to start around 9, but the school bus was late picking up my daughter this morning, and we ended up having to drive her to school and dropping her off, so I just need a few minutes to get set up, that's all. So if you haven't been to watched one of my lives before, it's like reality crafting. What will go wrong, what can go wrong will usually go wrong, so there's usually some kind of mistakes or snafus. Okay, so now I've got the video feed up and I can see your comments. Say hi if you're watching. I love it when you guys like join in. So how are you guys doing? How was your summer? I don't know, is it just me or is it just the summers go by so much faster now? It just over like that. For those of you watching for the first time, welcome to my This or That Thursday, where I post 2 cards to my group, either a few days before, but usually the night before. And I ask people to vote for a card for me to make live on Thursday mornings, usually around 9 a.m. Comment, say hi, let me know you're watching. So I didn't make anything really complicated this week. I had a couple of projects that I needed to do. Unfortunately, I had to make a sympathy card, and then I also made some cards for my bingo players. I have a bingo tomorrow night, which is going to be lots of fun, and I was making cards for that too. So these are the cards I was making. There's like, okay, so we've got like little 3x3 note cards, and then the other one, the sympathy card, also uses a 3x3 piece of DSP. And so I feel like I'm really maximizing my use of the designer series paper and getting a lot out of them. Hi Shannon, hi Sandra, thanks for joining me. It's nice not to have to talk to myself completely. It's really weird. And it still feels weird. I mean, like this is not the first time I've done this, but it feels like the first time because it's been so long since the last time I did this. So, okay, so let's get started. I'm just going to switch my, mount my camera. So just close your eyes because it's going to be a little bit wobbly for a minute. I don't want you guys to get sick. Okay, just a second. There we go. All right, let me just zoom in a little bit. Hopefully that's good. All right, here we go. So here's the cards. I made a bunch of these cards. It's really great to get like 4 cards out of one strip of like DSP, and all I did was, you know, turn them over to use the back side, and did not have any waste. So same thing for this kind of card. I just used like a 6x6 sheet and I cut them up into 3x3 pieces, and I got four cards. Very simple design. I cased it from another demonstrator. Theirs was slightly different, but you know, that's the best part about casing is you kind of take it and you make your own. So I added a layer in the background here and I embossed it with very subtle embossing. So that's all I did with that one. So very simple. So today we're gonna make just cute little note cards, really simple, and you should be able to get lots of cards out of them. I used the On the Horizon stamp set. I just wanted like a small thank you, and this was one of the few that had like a small enough thank you sentiment, and I only used this part of it. So and I embossed it. So I'm getting back into embossing. I dragged out my embossing powders, and because I got the embossing buddy set. So if you haven't seen it before, it's this embossing tray and a brush and the embossing buddy, which I leave in. It's like some sort of like a talc or something inside, or so I'm not using it today because I found on a dark cardstock it leaves kind of a white cast behind and I can't get it off. So that's supposed to take the static away from the paper, so you don't have these little dots of embossing powder left over, because you can see like here there's like little extra dots that got embossed onto the paper because I couldn't get rid of them. So that's okay, not a big deal. I figured out that I could use my tweezers to kind of just brush them away. So anyways, so that's what we're doing today. So we'll start from scratch. I used a white card base. These are 3 by 6 inch card bases, so I'm just going to cut those first, and then we'll get out our DSP and stuff. All right. Okay, so let me get my paper. I'm going to grab a piece of white. Here we go. White and my paper trimmer. So talk to me about how your summer vacations were and what you guys were doing over the Labor Day weekend. We didn't do anything too exciting. We were just sticking close to home. Okay, so I'm going to cut, because this is a 8.5 by 11, what I did was I cut 6 inches this way, and then I could cut 3 pieces of 3 inches wide, and that was the best way I could maximize the use of an 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. Whoops. Okay. And then 3 inches here. So I'll have a 6 by 3. I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of them now because I know I'm going to use them. I'm just going to continue. I'll make the one card live and then I'll just finish off the rest afterwards. But I know I'm going to need this, so I'm just going to cut it right now. Okay. Then I'm going to score it at 3 inches with my scoring blade. Yeah, the summer went by way too quickly, and it is not over yet. It's not over officially until September 22nd, so I am still wearing summer t-shirts. Actually, today's going to be really hot. It's so bizarre. In the morning you start out at 15 degrees, and then by afternoon it's 27 degrees and humidex and everything. But that's fall for you. All right. And for those of you who didn't know, like I broke my foot this summer, so you think that would make for lots of like crafting time, but actually that just means that everything takes longer. Like, you know, just walking around the house takes longer, trying to cook something takes longer. So it didn't materialize, although I had a good excuse to like sit down and rest and elevate my foot. Okay, so I have 3 pieces here. I only need 1. I'm just going to put these aside. Then I'm going to take a piece of DSP. So I'm going to use this one again. I put away my trimmer too soon. Oh, you're having school bus problems too. I thought both. Oh, Sandra, you. That's strange. So missed a bunch of stops on Monday. Picked up kids on Tuesday. Then got lost. Oh my gosh, yes, our bus driver took a wrong turn too. He went and like turned down our street when he wasn't supposed to, and stopped, and then I saw him come back around, and yeah. I thought that both your kids, Sandra, were not taking the bus, and that your son could drive to school. I thought that's what you guys were doing. Anyways, okay, so this was normally a 12 by 12. I've already cut off a 3-inch strip. I'm going to cut off another 3-inch strip, and we're going to get 4 cards out of it. Okay, so that's 3 inches, and I'm going to cut. Okay, so each card, let me just show you again. Where did I put them? Right here. All right, so this one, so it's 3 by 3. And so what I did, you can see I flipped the DSP so I could use the other side for an alternate pattern here. And what I'm going to do is I cut 2 1/4 inches, and then the last quarter, 3/4 inches down here. And then I covered it with a die cut border. The original design used the scalloped contours as their border, and I don't have that one, so I used one from the Peony dies, so I'll show you in a minute. So overall it's a 3-inch piece, and then I'm going to cut 2 1/4 part way. So let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna cut 3 inches first, and then I'll divide it after. Okay, so, whoops, I'm off the screen. Okay, so there's 3 inches, and I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces. One is going to be 2 1/4, and the other one's going to be 3/4 left over. So that's all I'm going to do. I'll flip it over to be like this. Okay, so I think I'm done with the paper trimmer now. I'm just going to burnish my fold with my bone folder first. Yeah, hopefully I don't know how the school buses, the system is going to get better, because like the pandemic just made everything worse, you know, with the shortages, because we had shortages with the school buses even before the pandemic. We were always getting new bus drivers all the time. I don't know. Okay, so here's my 2 pieces. I'm just going to glue this one on top. And Shannon, do you have any problems with school busing, or do you drive your kids to school, or do they walk? Can't remember. Okay, so I'm just lining it up with the top of the card here and sticking it on. And then I will do the reverse side. It's a really simple card, and they look really cute. And I love that there's like pretty much no waste. All right. So there's the bottom part. Okay, so the next part is this scalloped edging that I got from my Peony dies. So you know all those like 1/2-inch pieces that you always cut off for other cards? Well, I save all those 1/2-inch pieces, and finally I found that I could use them for this border, so it's awesome. So this is just a 1/2-inch piece that I'm going to take, and I'm going to trim off actually the 3 inches right now. Oh wow, Shannon, you're so lucky. You have the same driver like for years. I think that's like unheard of. Okay, 3 inches. I'm just gonna get the die cutter, the cut and emboss machine. I desperately need new replacement plates. Mine is so scratched up now, but I'll have to wait till my next time I put it in order. I'll have to definitely get some in. So I'm lining this up with the edge here so I don't have to cut it again, right? So it's gonna be nice and straight. And I've started using washi tape to secure my die so that it won't move. So washi tape, if you've never used it, it's just like it's like a low tack tape. Kind of like stronger than a post-it note, but not as strong as regular tape. So it won't rip your paper, and it doesn't stick as much. Hang on a sec. I just realized I'm missing a couple of plates. Gotta slide that in. So no more shifting around when the plate's not flat or if I move it by accident. All right, there we go. I'm gonna run that through. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you this one. This die comes from the Peony set. It's part of this set. Okay, so it's just a border. Okay, so this comes off. I just keep it on my machine. I just stick it on the side and reuse it. Perfect. All right, just let me move this. So now I have 3 inches, and I'm just going to use it to cover up the join part here. And I think I'll use glue for this one. Has anybody else gotten into embossing yet? I know I was resisting it because didn't have a good way to clean it up and set it up, but now with the tray, I've been trying it out more, and I really like the way it really pops when you have white embossing on black. I really like that, so you might see more of that as I continue using it more often. Okay, so there's my border. Perfect. Okay, so now I need my text, my sentiment. All right, so here I've got like a leftover black piece here. I'm gonna trim off the half inch that I need first. Okay, so this is why I love this paper trimmer, because I can put small pieces of paper here and it will still hold it properly. It has all these guides here at the top. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's a little 1/2 inch strip. I'm going to get my Stamparatus out. I still have it set up from before. And what I'm going to use, if you've never done embossing before, you need a special ink to do embossing. So the embossing powder needs to stick to the surface, right? So you use what's called a Versamark ink pad. Okay, so this stays stickier longer, and it gives you time to get your embossing powder stuck to it. Okay, so let's see, I'm just going to make sure it's lined up properly. Okay, I'm going to get my embossing tray here. It's not going to work. I need a bigger desk. Okay, we'll get that after. Okay, so I'm just going to ink up. Yes, I know, Sandra. It's like, I feel kind of like lazy about it sometimes. Sorry, Shannon, you were asking where do you get it? I'm assuming you're talking about the embossing tray. That's actually from Stampin' Up. They just put it into, this is from Stampin' Up. You can see the little logo on there. It's part of their mini catalog, and I suppose like it should probably make it into the annual, but I saw it in the mini as soon as it came out, because I thought that would be a great addition to have. So I'm just inking up the word thanks, because that's the only word I want in this sentiment. Okay, with the Versamark. Okay, now you can't see this because it's black, but I can see that it's a little bit wet here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the embossing powder over it into my tray. Okay, so here's, oh, the tape, the washi tape. So I know that that Stampin' Up has some washi tape, but it's glitter washi tape, and I think it's meant for more for decorative use. But I just bought my washi tape off of Etsy. Like, you know, you can buy washi tape lots of places. Michael's has it and stuff, but you know, it's It's pretty useful. Like you can see this stuff here, it's this is washi tape right here. I usually use it to seal my envelopes and stuff when I'm giving out prizes and stuff, because it doesn't tear the paper when you open it, right? Okay, so I'm just going to pour this on. Okay, where's my tweezers? Okay, these are the tweezers that came with this set. Just lift that up. There we go. Having trouble here. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to tap it off. And you can see that it's sticking a little bit, so I'm just going to take my brush to get rid of those little excess pieces as best as I can. I'll probably use my tweezers too. So I have to try this out with more of the light colored papers, but really, I really wanted to, it really makes a difference when you can get rid of all these little excess dots of embossing powder on black, because it shows up so much more. Okay, almost there. So this is all from my stash. Like I don't have, I didn't get any of the Stampin' Up! The stuff, but because I've got so much stash from when like I used to do embossing and scrapbooking and card making, like how many years ago? Like what, 18 years ago? So I have to use that up first, and they still work. Like there's nothing wrong with them. So I have my own heat gun. You need a heat gun and just to make the magic happen. So here we go. There we go. I love how it looks. Black on white. White and black, I mean. It just stands out so much. All right. So back here. I had flagged the end using my scissors. I think this time I'm just going to cut it on an angle instead. But flagging is very easy if you've never done it before. Maybe I'll just show you how to do that if you don't know how to flag your own cards. So actually I'm going to trim off a little bit because it's a little bit long. Okay, so when you flag it, you can just cut in the center up to where how deep you think you want to flag it. Okay, so I'm just making a little cut there, and then I cut from the corners. There we go, and that's how you flag it. Okay, so I mounted this with dimensionals to make it pop. There's my dimensionals. All right. There's so much going on at Stampin' Up! Right now, and I'm trying to put together my newsletter and stuff, and it's so long. I feel like I need to make it into like a blog post practically, but I don't have a blog, so. But there's lots of news to come, so that'll be coming out soon if you're subscribed to my newsletter. Lots of promotions going on, and World Card Making Days coming up, and I'm going to start my creative therapy nights again, where you can join in and craft and just hang out with other crafting ladies. It's fun. And the last thing I have for this is the twine to add. So the original design, which I quite like, she tied it across and around, but every time I do this, I keep forgetting to do that. Like I think she tied it right around this back piece and then tied it here, but I always forget, so I end up having to put on a bow at the end. So I'm just going to tie it right on here. That way that helps me to like figure out how much twine I need, because sometimes I don't use as much as I need, might have cut off. You know, if I cut off, I might end up with too much. But this way, I just use what I need. And if it doesn't end up in the, you know, the right size or the right length, I can just untie it and do it again. So that's about right. I'll make it a tiny bit smaller, the loops. It's such a tiny card. Okay, scissors. And glue dot. So for the glue dot, it's really big. The glue dot's quite large, so usually what I end up doing when I'm just using it to adhere like the back of a knot, I will actually cut the glue dot into 4 pieces. That's what I'm going to do now. Okay. I think these cards are really cute for adding for like little, you're giving somebody like, you know, some baked goods or a little thank you present. They're really cute for adding. And they do have envelopes for these. I don't have any because I kind of decided to make these kind of last minute and realized that they were 3x3 size, but they do, Stampin' Up! Does have 3x3 envelope sizing in case you were wondering. So I'm just going to stick this on here in the corner. And that's the card. Super simple. So now I can take the other pieces and I can create another 3 cards because I still have a 3x6 strip, and I will get another 3 cards out of this. So that's pretty cool. And they look great. I think they're really sweet. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm kind of easing back in before I try anything really complicated, any fun folds or stuff like that, but I think this is a good way to ease back into doing lives. So I will post, if anybody is interested, I will post the instructions and the measurements in the description of my live afterwards. So if you want the measurements, they'll be there, and all the materials. And you can make your own cards. So thanks again for joining me, ladies, and it's nice to be back, and have a great day. Bye.